Hello, folks, and welcome to the show that covers all stories across the world, but mostly it's a salute to American stories. We've got MJ, we've got Ron. Welcome back to you guys. And MJ, look at that background you got. Very patriotic.
Absolutely. It's the week. I can't believe it's already here. Yay!
Happy 250. Hey, Ron, what do you got there? What's that cup you got? Pull that back up. Oh, he's got his Sam Eagle ready to go.
Yes.
Sam Eagle
Look at that.
popcorn bucket. Hey,
Look
let
at
me
that.
know how
Look
my
at that.
sound is.
Your sound sounds soundful. You're great, Ron. You sound good. All right, folks, we're going to dive in today, and we've got all kinds of crazy stories you won't believe. And I mean it this time. Really, these are crazy stories. Get ready. It's going to be a good time. Juliet dropping 2 says, evening, that Park Place in chat. And Juliet, good evening to you. It's always a joy to see you out there. Appreciate you, folks. The Super Chat goal today. All we got to do is get to 20 el 20. And what are we going to do with it? Well, we're going to do a special Q&A. And given the stories we're about to cover, you, I promise, are going to want Q&As to say, bro, how in the world? How in the world? All right, well, we're going to get underway. And, of course, I, the man of at least 12 of these crazy blue jackets, am ready to get going. I got to get more caps, though. You know, the caps is where the shortage is. Got to have a few more of these. But wait. Hold on a second. I commented on the Sam Eagle thing, but MJ, what's the hat say? What do you got up there?
Oh, yeah. You know what? My daughter found this at Old Navy for me. It's the 250th years, and it's Mickey. So I had to get it.
250 years. I mean, years
Yeah.
of America.
Old Navy, guys. That's where it's
There
at.
you go. There you go.
Party.
Folks, we're diving in because the news here is so much fun. But the one we're starting off with could have gone the wrong way. It could have been very scary. Guys, MJ, Ron, do you remember we just covered a kid falling down 50 feet of Tiana's Bayou Adventure?
Oh, yeah.
Ron, you remember that, right? Ron?
Are you awake, Ron?
Yeah, no, I was thinking of, I just saw it earlier today, and I feel like there's an AI version of that going around.
There is. There's
yeah,
too
yeah.
many versions and memes and all kinds of wackadoodle things going on out there.
Well, what if I told you guys that somebody has fallen again at the Disney parks, and that's breaking just this morning?
Oh my
Let's talk about it right now. Folks, you remember the teenager who went tumbling down Splash Mountain, Tiana's Bayou Adventure at Disneyland? Well, it's happened again, this time not on a ride per se, but rather at Animal Kingdom Lodge. This from Walt Disney World Active Calls. It says, child goes over Animal Kingdom Lodge animal enclosure wall. Reddit user Meta Kate posted a video saying a child sitting on the rock wall decided to slide down into the enclosure at Animal Kingdom Lodge. Here's the video of what we saw and the adults trying to save the kid. There's something important to talk about after this. Hang tight, we'll get there. You can see it's in fast motion. You can see the kid is at the bottom of the rocks. You can see there's a parent at the top. I'll tell you this too, you don't see this, but usually at Animal Kingdom and Animal Kingdom Lodge, they employ these little metal, they kind of look like ferns, but they're metal things that are meant to keep the animals away. And I think they have some low voltage. Is that, Ron, do you know about that? And there you can see they get the kid out. All right. Ron seems to be frozen in place. Poor Ron. He's gone into B mode Yeti.
Elsa was notified and she froze him.
Oh boy.
The heat got to Ron, the heat wave.
MJ, what do you say? There's the little spike things that are supposed to keep animals out, but we've got this kid down. That the thing that bothers me so about seeing this, MJ, is that in all of that fast motion stuff, right, the time lapse, we don't see anybody from Disney show up. There's no cast member that comes over. Nobody, comes by to say, hey, we're going to keep, the critters away. Ron's unfrozen. He's back again. Hello, Ron. Welcome back, buddy. MJ, your thoughts on how long we watched this happen with no cast members showing up?
Yeah, let's give that a go again. Jesus, have mercy. I don't do well with stuff like this. I can't stomach a child, in danger, but I was there earlier this year, and when we did our walkthrough at the resort, I was like, it's a little strange because the park itself has a lot of like you were saying, barricades. It's almost nearly impossible for any human being to be able to endure something like this, right? Encounter something like this. But at the resort, I can see this happening. This is just, I've never heard of this before. And I'm sure now after this incident, they're going to have to put some more different kind of fencing or anything to prevent it from happening. Even look at the adults trying to. Oh my God, there's
Well,
now
this is-
five
Is
people
this
now.
is this outside of Jumbo House or Kadani Village? Do we
It
know?
has to
My
be
understa-
Jumbo.
Yeah, I think it's Jumbo House. It's outside of. It's when you go down the steps and go out the glass doors. Ron,
So
the fact that the guests, it looks like it's multiple parties get together and come up with a plan of we'll hold hands and get everybody out. The fact that they do this before a single cast member even shows up to say, "Oh my gosh," I mean, are there not cameras? What's going on here, Ron? That no cast member runs out and says, "Hey, we've got a plan for this, and we're gonna, protect your child and get them out of here."
and I'm seeing the entire video. It doesn't seem like one cast member has shown up.
Never
Their
done,
party, even
not a single time.
that's wild. So I was going to say before, about maybe 2 or 3 feet away from like what we're looking at right now, the back of the child, right? So there's going to be some
Low voltage metal fern things.
right? They look like ferns, and they emit. I believe they just emit a low voltage signal that keeps the animals away from that area. They don't even come close to it. It's
You're
really
right,
weird. I'm
Ron.
trying to think of the last what.
No, you're
Yeah.
right. Now that I remember, because I was just there not too long ago, and the cast members are like sparse in this specific area because it's more sightseeing than anything else.
They're usually international program. What we call ICPs, international program cast members. They are cultural representatives that are placed outside. In other words, they're from Africa, right? So the cast members that would be there are typically only trained, if they're outside in that area, they're typically only trained to deal with the guests and tell them about what's
Right.
African culture or the animals or those specific things. Lifeguards, I don't know how close this doesn't look close to a pool.
There are no. There's the pool area with Boma is way far away. There's nobody even. They would have no idea this is happening.
A lifeguard's job to handle this if somebody saw it, like what they would if somebody saw this happening. I was a lifeguard. I didn't work at this pool, but I would know that procedurally speaking, if somebody saw it happening outside the pool and told a lifeguard, we do a 2-whistle blow, we'd shut down the pool, then the lifeguards would go over to handle this because we have, that emergency training, right? So, but this is weird. Like nobody's coming over to help. And the
all right, let me show where this is, Ron, so you get an idea. So the pool you're thinking of at Animal Kingdom Lodge is out here. So for folks, if you go in Animal Kingdom Lodge, for those of you who've been there, you go into the main area here, Jamba, and you've got Boma is under here, and you've got the other nice restaurant over here, and on this side you've got I forget the name of the place that you can get the zebra domes out of the refrigerators. Mara, that's right. And here is the giant pool. Okay, this is the pool that you're talking about. One of the best pools at Disney. It's great.
Yes, beautiful.
But where we're talking about, Ron, is straight out the back of the lodge.
So
over here. So no lifeguards, no nothing.
When you go through the lobby, guys, and then you go down the stairs, there is a very nice area for guests, resort guests, to be able to enjoy like the views of not just the animals, but a lot of like the birds, etc. But there's not much wildlife in this specific area. It's very, very, very sparse. There are cast members, but you would have to continue walking all the way down, and they give you like information. And then the rocks themselves on the inside, not where we saw the child fall, but on the inside, there's actual signage. Do not climb the rocks. Do not attempt. All of that's there. But obviously this small child didn't know any better. I'm not going to say that she disobeyed the rules. She's too little to understand. Mom and dad were supposed to have a grip on this child, and that's the truth.
Right. And so one of the what we think is happening is that somebody probably zoomed in from their own hotel room is catching this. But this area actually has giraffes, at least. I'm not sure of all the animals that are there, but zebras,
zebras, giraffes. Typically those, whatever the big birds are that walk around. I don't remember all of them. Now, things like the Angola cattle are going to be further out and stuff.
They're further out, yeah.
But also, another thing that nobody thinks about that can be anywhere down here or up with the guests are snakes. And the reason I'm saying snakes is because I have absolutely encountered a snake. As a matter of fact, I think it might have been during one of my live streams when I was doing it at Jumbo House. But there was it was funny because it was like at the cast members' feet. I wasn't scared of it because snakes don't bother me. But yeah, there are absolutely plenty of snakes around that whole area.
But what do you guys think about the response? I mean, there's no response. It's
no
not
response.
like we can. It's not like we can do a response time critique here. Nobody shows up. There's a kid in an animal exhibit, and nobody at Disney shows up. Now we can talk about. You called them ICPs. Is that right, Ron? Cultural representatives.
Like the cultural representatives or international. Well, ICPs would be international college program. These are actually CRs, cultural representatives.
Okay, so CRs,
any age.
But there's still got to. You would think there's still some sort of protocol of, hey, somebody just fell in with the animals. Hit the button. Get get security out here ASAP.
I'm surprised. Why didn't even any of the adults go run to find a cast member unless there was just like literally no cast members around in that area? I don't know this is strange.
My first reaction would be get my baby out of there if it were me, and then someone else can go look for a cast member. But I mean, the parent should have had a grip on her. It's not her fault. Look at how tiny she is.
She's, I don't know if she's 3, I don't know if she's 4, but she's a little bitty. And you're exactly right. It's incumbent on parents to make sure this doesn't happen. Listen, I know crazy things can happen with kids. Kids can do things that you just were not expecting, right? They can sit up on the rock and all of a sudden, poof, they go down. You're like, well, how about that? That's not what...
Another situation of parents not talking to their kids and talking to each other. Hey, we got to keep an eye. There's signs everywhere. Do not climb the rocks. So now they're going to have to put more barricades or another type of fencing situation. And it takes away the aesthetic, beautiful, like when you walk through the rocks and like that whole area, it's so pretty because there's not anything ruining it. So now that might have to get ruined and it's going to be an eyesore.
So we're really happy, though. We're really happy that the kid is okay, that everything worked out. But this needs to be, they need to get this more crisp. They need to get this actually working where, hey, there's somebody in the animal enclosure. We don't want it to happen, right? But who knows? Maybe once a year, they've got the data. Something's going to happen. And, what if it would, let's change it up, right? So what if it's something that's dangerous to animals that accidentally got thrown into the pen by a kid or something? It could be some sort of plastic. Somebody's got to be able to react quick to this kind of thing, and it just doesn't seem to be there at Disney. We keep seeing this over and over again, whether it's the monorail or whether it was the Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular show, where things are just not as buttoned up and safe as they used to be. I don't know if it's, I don't know what's going on here, but
I agree with you, Pro. When you go into this resort and you go through the lobby, you can go to the left, to the right before the viewing area, that big, beautiful glass where you can see everything out there. Sure. And there's an area like a porch. It's like and they have rocking chairs.
Oh yeah. I love it.
Can you imagine sitting there having your cup of coffee early in the morning and watching this instead of getting a good view of a giraffe or a freaking zebra?
Listen, that would be something.
Your vacation.
It's a story to tell, I would say. That's for sure.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and this is one of the resorts that I didn't work as a lifeguard at, but when I was working for DVC, I worked there a lot of times, so I know the area well. I know, the whole both Kidani and Jumbo House, and my biggest surprise. I don't really think that they need to. They might need to put more signage up, but what they really need to do is make sure that a cast member is always staffed out there, which there are certain times of the day when they are. Of course, they do the s'mores out there. They have recreation cast members out there, but they really should have a cast member in that area at all times. Or at the very least, they could, for some reason, I don't know why they didn't have any cameras perhaps aimed at that spot, but that you could put up more cameras. That certainly, they probably have 100 cameras in reserve somewhere that they could.
Yeah, I think in the spot there's usually 3 cast members. Ron, do all cast members typically have some sort of device to radio in and say, "Hey, we got a problem down here"?
Yeah, I mean, we always had. I can't remember. Like, there's a whole list of codes that we had to memorize and stuff, or whatever. But yeah,
because what you don't want to have is
you hear. I mean, like if everybody knows if you've been to the parks, you hear everybody you hear that, right? And people call it in. So yeah, there's typically a lot of radio chatter and all that.
What you don't want to have happen is that the cast member sees it, has to run in the building to find somebody. You want them to be able to quickly get in touch. It doesn't seem like that happened here. We'll play it one more time for folks who are saying, "Let me see that again." Are you serious? Yeah, we're serious. We got all this time. This is time lapsed, so the amount of time that it must have taken. We've got maybe mom or grandma trying to help. Oh, here comes another lady. Do they know each other? We don't know, but they're looking at the situation. Okay, still no cast member. What are we going to do? Okay. And then we're going to have a cutaway. And all right, there's the cutaway, is that somebody in red shirts has finally stopped by, not cast members, and given them the helping hand they needed to get out of this situation. So in the future, we'd like to see that be, Disney staff who says, how did this happen? Don't do this again. We're getting the kid out. That would be at the least. All right, guys, final thoughts on this one.
I was going to say it would have been really funny if a giraffe had come up, put its head down, kid grabbed on the giraffe.
Did you ever see that video of the kid that fell in the monkey exhibit, and the monkey actually picked up the child and gave it back to the mom? I saw that.
Really?
Yeah,
that
sometimes
cannot be AI. That was not AI. I was like, oh my God.
Sometimes it goes that way. There are other videos you should not see where it does not go the way you would wish for it to. So very important to stay safe, folks, and keep your kids off of the walls, because you never know. Kids are crazy. They'll do things that you were not anticipating. And as MJ said, chat with them and say, hey, let's not go play with the monkeys or the giraffes.
Exactly.
First Dragon Queen for 5 says, did Ron enjoy being the person in the bear suit? I had words about that animatronic after my review today. Hugs for all. Ron, how's it feel to be a bear suit kind of guy these days?
It's comfy. Very comfy.
Snuggly, some say. Ron, what's your beverage? What are you drinking?
Folgers. But in my Venezuela cup, okay.
Well, that's a nice cup.
By the way, but I haven't had a chance to ask you about this, Ron. I know that you have some folks who are family in Venezuela. Is everybody okay on that side of the thing?
Yeah, so we have checked with everybody that's in. My family lives, generally speaking, in Barquisimeto, which was a little bit west of the epicenter, pretty far west of the epicenter, I think. For the
horrible situation.
There were 2 earthquakes. And Caracas, though, was devastated. Like the city of Caracas, the buildings, none of them were built to withstand earthquakes. And some of the videos that I've seen coming out of there are just devastating. I've seen, an entire giant city
should be condemned, like every building. That's going to be, and the problem is it didn't happen somewhere where they can take care of themselves. It happened under a dictatorship, which now, the dictator has been removed, but still, this is a country that does not have the resources or the means, and it's going to be a very, very bad situation going forward. Just awful.
Well, lots of prayers. We've donated some things, and we're doing everything we can for the people there. Obviously, we do have family in the country, and then the entire country, I'm sure, is devastated about the situation. So just,
awful situation. And, just because Venezuela became a place that was controlled by a dictator doesn't mean that, we stopped caring about the people who live there. And the people who live in Venezuela, they've been through it. They've been through hell and back again. And for this to happen now is just, it's just devastating. It's awful. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, Ron, let's get back on the on a more positive note. We it's important for us to mention those things, but you said you were drinking what out of that container?
Folgers.
Okay. So dark roast, light roast, what do you got?
I don't know. It's just Folgers.
Okay, Folgers. Best part of waking up.
I got a latte. I felt like a brat this morning, so I got a latte with no sugar, no nothing. It's just a latte.
All right. Well, I'm going to drink my coffee too. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. We're going to do a click it and sip it. You click the like button. We'll take a sip. You sip together with us. Click that like button, and we'll take a sip together in 3, 2, 1.
Cheers. Delicious latte.
Whoa, mine's good.
I trained myself about 9 years ago to drink coffee with no sugar. It can be done. I promise you it can be done. And then you learn to appreciate the real taste of coffee. So.
I drank sugarless coffee my entire life. That's the only, I've always liked my coffee.
Well, in this country, we like to sugar everything up.
I'm telling you what, my coffee's good though. My coffee is great.
You didn't tell us what kind of coffee you're drinking.
Oh, it's a shaken ristretto.
Look at that.
Not stirred. Not stirred. All right, MJ, what have you been up to lately these days? It's been a week since you and I got to be on the stream together, and you had done a Disney vacay before that. What's been going on in your world as you get ready for the 250th?
Oh, I think we're gonna hang tight back home, and we're gonna grill. The kids love this time of year. I already went to we got a whole bunch of the goods at Old Navy. I'm probably gonna look like a happy picnic on Saturday because all the checkered colors and I got another hat. It's just ridiculous, but I'm such a girl, right? It's typical girls. But we were at Disney last weekend. Was it last weekend? Jesus.
About a week ago, yeah.
About a week ago. We had a great time. We went to Disney Springs and did some shopping. I celebrated my 41 birthday, and I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be alive, and God has took me through hell, and I've been through hell and fire. God brought me out of everything, and I'm still going strong, and I'm glad to be here with you guys. And it's just been there's so much. I don't even know where to get started. Pro, you caught me off guard.
MJ, you're but a spring chick at 41. Just getting started in this world. I'm tell you, just getting started.
Oh, the Supergirl joke. I see that in the live chat. So it was here's a funny tease. We were talking last night on the DA's office about Supergirl. And did you see who they want to cast for Wonder Woman?
I did.
Okay, so that's Momoa's wife, right? Okay. So they were cracking jokes. Oh, another race swap. Well, we don't want super Latina Wonder Woman. And I get it. We want, obviously a Wonder Woman that represents this beautiful country. And
as one of the where does Wonder Woman supposedly come from? I don't know how we're going to pull
Amazon.
That off.
Right. Yeah. That's the thing. But we don't want a Mexican Wonder Woman. So we were joking and laughing about it. And I had some fun on Grok, and I made a Latino Wonder Woman, and we were just joking and cracking up. So I highly recommend everyone to go see that.
I think I missed. Who are they thinking about casting?
Oh, it's Jason Momoa's wife.
Yeah, but what's her name?
I don't know her. I forget her name. I think she's Hispanic. I just don't know what origin of Hispanic she's from.
Hang on, I'll tell you.
It's funny. It was a good joke. But
Adria Arjona is who they are talking about.
Not that she's ugly. It has nothing to do with looks.
Oh, she's not ugly.
No.
I mean,
that has nothing to do with it.
Gal Gadot did a fantastic job, and she's Israeli. So
yeah.
Really, I don't.
If you find somebody from the Amazon to play Wonder Woman, congrats. I don't know where you're going to find.
No, that's the whole thing, Pro. Exactly. You don't want to get somebody from the tortilla company.
You don't.
Hello, I am Wonder Woman. It is good to see you.
And hey,
I'm not. Chef Eddie for 5 says MJ likes her coffee.
Oh,
like she likes her Jonas.
Uh-oh, what is that about?
Oh, boy. Chef Eddie, what are you trying to do to us? Boy,
maybe the magical girl Jonas. That's a long-lost relative of mine.
Magical girl Jonas, Charlie.
All right, let's not get that started again. Folks, we got a poll out there in the chat if you're watching us on YouTube. If you're on X, well, you just can't participate this time, but we love everybody wherever you're watching us. But if you're on YouTube, we've got a poll going on right now. This is a heated discussion about what is the food of 4th of July. Everybody knows that for Thanksgiving you have turkey.
Yes.
Everybody knows that for St. Patty's Day you're going to have the corned beef brisket, or shepherd's pie, right?
Yes, absolutely.
But for the 4th of July, people debate this. They say pizza, hamburger, hot dogs. We got to decide. We got to make a decision today for the nation.
Ooh.
So help us, ladies and gentlemen. Help us make the call. Is it hamburgers? Is it hot dogs? It's not pizza. You can vote that way if you want to. But is it hamburgers or is it hot dogs? Let us know. We'd love to hear from you.
I'm voting hamburgers, unless it's really good quality kosher hot dogs. Go ahead, Ron. Sorry.
I got to say that when you said for the nation, that was the most
for the nation
rush I've ever heard you sound. You really
Can he do it again?
I had Rush echo in my voice in that moment. For a second, he was back alive again.
What did I say again?
For the nation, however you said it.
He needs to do it again.
We have to figure it out for the nation.
Yeah, that was it. That was it. I was like, wow,
just the drop down? See, I don't even mean I'm doing it.
Somebody was asking amused.
Somebody was asking me, Pro, do you really sound like Rush? Like in just everyday talking. And I said, no, I don't sound like Rush in everyday talking. I don't go into the doctor's office and say, I am here to get the latest advances in technology and medicine. Right? I don't do that. But Rush didn't talk that way secretly behind the scenes either. When he would do an interview with like Fox News, he would do his voice. He would say things like, we never give up. It's not who we are. It's not who we're going to be. Now, what you need to understand is Rush and I have similar backgrounds in that Rush came out of sports broadcasting. So when he went and did his radio show, he held on to the sports broadcasting sound. And I have done some of those sports broadcasting things. So we call now, we've come to call when I do this, Rushisms, right? So when I say, with talent on loan from Walt, we call those the Rushisms now. But the truth is, I would do those regardless because it's the same thing you hear when you go to a ball game. What Rush was doing when he was on his radio program, he was just bringing in, and now, ladies and gentlemen, the starting lineup for whoever they are. He just brought that in, and it was a huge, people loved it. And so anyway. All right, let's see. We got us another super chat coming in. Let's get that out there. First Dragon Queen says, it's none of the above.
Oh.
It's smoked ribs.
She's not lying.
I love smoked ribs.
Not lying at all.
Oh, delicious.
Yeah.
How about all of it? How about just all of it?
I know, right? Can we have like a spread of like all the goods?
This is what I'm worried about now. People are going to be saying pulled pork is the one, and all this. And it's like, we're sticking with hamburgers and hot dogs,
Wait,
folks.
Ron,
we're doing
fresh biscuit on the board. Bucky.
Biscuit.
Ron, have you ever worked at Buc-ee's?
No, I've never worked at Buc-ee's, no. But
we found one, folks. We found one.
No, I'm considering filling out an application for Spirit Halloween.
I love it. Okay.
I mean,
that
it's
could be
temporary.
It's a fun job.
It is fun.
Well, you should ask them if you can vlog your experience as a Spirit Halloween.
I was thinking about it. I'm like, wait, what? I don't know that anybody's ever done that. Hey, I worked at Spirit Halloween. That would be.
We have a really cool costume store here in South Florida called Costume World. And once upon a time, MJ and a friend, we had a little business and we would actually go to Costume World and pick out things like Santa, the Santa costume, the Easter Bunny, and we would book gigs like crazy. And I was face painting, and it was just a really cool little side job that we did for a long time together. It was I started it by myself, and then I brought my friend in with me, and it was a nice long run. And then I had my babies and I stopped, but it was good. It was so much fun dressing up in different costumes. And they just debuted at Costume World. If you guys want to look it up in Pompano, they have like the whole Patriot costumes. If anyone wants to do the dressing up from like the history of this beautiful country, you can actually go and get your costumes and dress like that for the 4th of July. And just
sounds like a good time to me.
Yeah, it's fun.
By the way, I'm trying to figure this out. Woofle McGruffle, the crime dog, is in for 5, a hello, and then a sad face.
Uh-oh.
Woofle, what's going on? Why you got a sad face? Woofle, are you okay? I'm about to sing the song. I'm about to sing the Michael Jackson song. Woofle, are you okay? Are you okay, Woofle? Woofle, let us know what's going on. We want to help you be in the best way that you can be. Wait a minute. What's that? Jonas is in my headset. Jonas says, oh.
Like the Secret Service, everybody.
Jonas says it could be because we didn't play a clip that everyone expects on a Monday.
Well, it's Monday. We're back again.
It's Monday, boys and girls, let's party! It's Monday, boys and girls, let's party!
Woofle, I hope that cheers you up. We've got Christian Corralejo out there for 2. What about steak or tri-tip for the July 4th? Hamburgers and hot dogs. We're trying to keep it simple, folks. But yes, I agree. If we want to make the national food for the 4th of July ribeye, I can get behind that. Just subsidize it so everybody can afford it, and let's all eat ribeye together.
Yeah.
Although I'm more of a porterhouse man. I'll be honest. People say, "What's your favorite cut of steak?" I like porterhouse because it's basically 2 types of steaks in one. It's a fun time, right? MJ, what's your favorite cut of steak? What do you go with?
I'm not really too much into steak. I'll be honest. I like salmon. I like fish. I'm a fish girl.
She's a salmon girl. And Ron, what about
Filet.
you?
Filet, but I mean, I'll eat any steak. So
Any steak, anytime, anywhere.
Filet. I mean, I love a good filet when I can get one. What are the giant ones called? The with the big bone sticking out.
You want another tomahawk?
T-bone? Oh, tomahawk.
Tomahawk.
Yeah,
It's
tomahawk
funny
ribeyes.
because we have what's called a chuletan at the restaurant that we serve, which is like almost a Spanish version of a tomahawk. But then we ran out one night, and they replaced the chuletans with tomahawks that they got from, I think, California Grill. And people were paying way less for a tomahawk than they should have been. But that's what they were getting.
That's what they were getting. Tomahawks are. I would bet a tomahawk at Disney. You said a tomahawk from the California Grill.
I think so. I think that's where we were getting them
I
from.
bet that was $120.
You know what?
Steak.
When Epic had their grand opening and they had their I think it was the first day, or the media event, they were serving tomahawks to them. Really nice one. Yeah, really nice.
You know, it actually does change the flavor. People don't always know that, but if you grill with the bone in on the ribeye, it does change things, and so it is tasty. First Dragon Queen for 2. You'll be in charge of the store. Just saying. All right, you're in charge, Ron. Guard it with your bear-like life. And Chef Eddie for 2. Weird Al has Twinkie wiener dogs. Listen, I don't have the clip right now of you get to drink from the fire hose, but it seems apropos for the moment. But yes, Weird Al does have Twinkie wiener dogs. Twinkie wiener sandwich. That's what he makes. Twinkie wiener sandwich. All right, folks.
Put a dog between the two Twinkies.
That's right. Let's get to it, ladies and gentlemen, because there's more news on the way, and this one is very interesting. An entire Disney park essentially being shut down because of the weather, and it's not in the US of A? Say what? It's on the way. Out of parade, we've got Disneyland Paris suspends outdoor attractions amid historic heat wave this week. Megan Foy is writing this one as a historic, record-shattering heat wave triggers maximum national weather alerts across France. Disney is actively shutting down its outdoor ride lineup. I'm going to call bohunkus on this. Hang tight, folks. I'm going to explain why. This is a bunch of silliness, and it's being driven by a totally corrupt media. It's not the kind of story we typically cover here on That Park Place, but we got to talk about it because the temperatures in France are nothing compared to what Florida was about 2 weeks ago. And you got to shut down the outdoor rides. Why is that? We'll explain in just a second. It says if you have a dream vacation to Europe on the books for this week, the packing list isn't the only thing you'll need to alter. Western Europe is currently locked in the grip of a staggering, historic heat dome that has forced local governments into absolute crisis mode. Yes, they can no longer handle summer, you see. According to official meteorological data from Météo France, daytime highs are soaring past a grueling 44 degrees Celsius, that's roughly 104 Fahrenheit, sparking a maximum red alert designation across more than half of the country. In direct response to this escalating public health emergency, theme park operations are shifting dramatically, and I would say under political pressure. Disneyland Paris has officially suspended operations for all outdoor attractions across both Disneyland Park and Disney Adventure World until the unprecedented weather breaks. So, yeah, you can't go ride stuff right now, but that's going to be a lot of fun. You know what else is fun, folks? Not having air conditioning in Europe. This is the craziest thing in the world, and I want to show you this because they are spinning this like crazy. AOL, hosting USA Today. One cool fact that makes Florida's scorching temps safer than Europe's. Because they know and we know that if you're going to shut down Disneyland Paris, and if you shut down all the outdoor rides, you've essentially shut down the park, okay? They know and we know that Florida is hotter than this. The heat index when I was in the parks, and MJ, you were there just recently as well, was like 112. But we survived. So why can't they make it? Well, they're spinning this. Ann Gigas, I guess, is the author here. It says, the reason for that feeling your hands might melt in the steering wheel has begun, but be warned, that's hardly the worst effect that scorching days present. Record weekend temperatures in Florida and reports that Europe is in the grips of the worst heat wave ever, triggering a surge in heat-related deaths is a reminder that roasting temperatures can have life-threatening consequences. Reported 1,300 excess deaths in Europe have been recorded since June 21st, according to a June 28th post on X. Here in the United States, a heat dome is expected to impact millions this 4th of July weekend. Okay, so why are they not shutting down everything at Disney World? Let's read. Ready? They, Europeans, are not used to the extreme heat that we're used to here, says Dr. Lowry Rothman. One of the recommendations in extreme heat is to stay in air conditioning. Oh, and if you don't have that available and you're exposed to the 90s, you might be hotter and more humid inside the houses and buildings. Oh.
No.
You see, here's what they're telling us. This is the media spin. For Floridians, there's good news. While much of Europe's housing stock was built for a climate that no longer exists.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and climate change. That's what's doing this, not summer heat. Most of Florida's was built after air conditioning became mainstream in the 1950s. There's just one problem with all of this. It's total nonsense. They are shutting down Disney parks in Europe when the temperature is cooler to fill and conform to a political narrative because the nut jobs in Paris have not allowed their citizens and all across Europe to have air conditioning. And now there's this big debate about whether you should have air conditioning. Good Lord. Let me show you this. Immediately, I knew this whole story was a bunch of nonsense, and they're shutting down the parks to conform to this nonsense because in 2003, follow along with me, folks. In 2003, this per Wikipedia, the 2003 European heat wave saw the hottest summer recorded in Europe since at least 1540. And how hot did it get in the 2003 European heat wave? Look down here. Peak temperature, 117 degrees. That was 23 years ago. And how did I know immediately that this story was bumpkus? Because I was in Europe in 2003, and I remember walking into hotel lobbies with it being 110 degrees in the hotel lobby. And I remember all of the reports of people dying, and I thought, this is crazy. This is craziness. Like, why is there not air conditioning here? And I thought, well, after this, they'll learn and they'll put air conditioning in. No, because here we are today, 23 years later. They didn't learn. No, the heat wave is not more impressive. It's not hotter than it was 23 years ago. It's not as hot. This is not record shattering. It's not record breaking. This is, and by the way, the way they do that to make it seem like it is they cherry pick locations where it measures hotter. And you all know they can measure next to, asphalt and that kind of stuff. But they cherry pick single locations where they can say, well, it was actually hotter here than it was 20 years ago. They've already been through this. They wouldn't allow their citizenry to install air conditioning. It's become this cultural, division and divisive, conflict about should you have air conditioning or not, which is absolutely crazy. And now they're shutting down parts of Disneyland Paris because, why? Because they're all trying to pretend that this is unavoidable and the heat wave is destructive and there's nothing you can do about it. The real story is politicians in Europe are trying to hide how badly mismanaged the continent has been. Disney World is going to be hotter. At the same time, they're still going to be open. All the rides still running. So MJ, this is absolute craziness where the parks now are becoming victims of political campaigns and propaganda. Did I make sense through that, MJ? There was a lot to go through. Does that all make sense?
I'm trying to process everything, but what about the safety and the health of people? Some people cannot breathe without air conditioning. They are using oxygen tanks or they have asthma. I'm thinking about those folks. I mean, the people with medical issues, come on, and you got people traveling from all over the world to visit this theme park. Yes, it's in another country with their own agendas, but that shouldn't mean that one should suffer if you're paying good money to have a good time on your vacation, for heaven's sake.
So, if I'm not mistaken, air conditioning in the United States is like 90% of structures have it. 90% of inhabited structures have air conditioning. I think that in Europe, it's somewhere around 10% or 15%.
That's insane.
So, yeah, I know. It's absolutely crazy. So, Ron, the reason that they're shutting down the stuff in the parks is because, and saying we can't run things outdoors, is because it's part of a broader narrative. Like, there's no, let me put it this way. You're getting extremely little relief to go indoors at Disneyland Paris because even though they do have air conditioning at Disneyland Paris, as opposed to most places in France, they still run the temperatures that they're still required by the government to keep those temperatures way hotter indoors than we would ever permit in the US of A. So the idea, this is all just part of optics. It's craziness.
So does this mean they're not opening Dubai?
Well, Dubai has fallen on the wayside for other reasons, but
Yeah.
I would say so.
But it's weird. Disneyland Paris obviously has had issues since the beginning, because I believe the local folks didn't want it at first, and it's just I don't know where I know we don't have Bob Iger anymore in charge. Going, well, they didn't take into
that ride flume, that the
in
Lion King ride flume, which should have been built like 10 years ago.
Yeah,
People on that one over and over.
They would have shut down that too, even if it were open, even if it were a water ride right now. I mean, this is obviously, I mean, the political narrative, the BS behind all this, it's always going to be there, and it's strange. But my question is that an American news source or is that a European news source?
What's that? The Reuters or the Parade?
Oh, that's out of Reuters? So were the
we had some out of Reuters. We had some out of Parade. Those are all U.S. sources. Okay,
so they're just trying to swing the narrative in a particular direction, which doesn't make really any sense because
let me show you this, Ron, because what's happening, this is so interesting. Now, again, I was in Europe 23 years ago when the much hotter heat wave happened and people were dying. And I thought, well, they'll have to build air conditioning. But no, they devastated their continent by cutting out energy production and devastating their economies. And they don't have air conditioning still. So now 20 years later, it happens again. And now they're declaring, well, it's a record breaker. And you can't even run outdoor attractions at Disneyland. By the way, the real reason that they're cutting down on all this kind of stuff at Disneyland is because they need all the electricity they can to try to run the very few air conditioners they do have. That's what's actually going on here. Okay, so here are the fascinating thing, though, is as they're shutting down theme parks in Europe, as they are fleeing their homes out in the sun, and asking somebody, please just spray me with water, Europeans also went to America for the World Cup. And they're breaking through the censorship and finding out, wait a minute, this is all a bunch of complete and total nonsense, like Pro says. Here are two British girls who found out that they're just getting lied to.
We've been in America for 2 weeks now, and we've noticed
I'm bloody sick of it, by the way.
We've noticed that you guys think it's actually hot out here.
It's not. It's not.
You literally have AC. We don't do AC. You go into Birmingham, you go into London, you won't find AC in these houses, we don't do that out there. And so we would be outside and then we go inside and it's still hot, but you guys can go inside and it's cool off. And we only know that because we've been in an Airbnb and it's actually freezing in here.
Literally.
So
try growing up back in Birmingham. It's bloody hot.
It's so hot.
You lot don't know what
hot.
Hot is. You don't know what heat is. I'm taking here about 95 degrees. We don't have AC.
Right.
We don't.
Yeah, if you go outside for too long and you're too hot, you have to go inside, you have to run the bath. You have to run it cold. And even still, sometimes it wouldn't even be cold. So no matter what, we cannot escape the heat. You guys can escape the heat. If you do your research elsewhere, you'd find that there is other places that actually don't get to get out of the heat.
It's a privilege.
It's a privilege.
It's not a privilege.
What did I just watch?
It's not a privilege. It's modern. It's what living in a modern world is like, and Europe has decided they don't want to be modern.
So they should have stayed at Wilderness Lodge.
No, that was, you're right. Fort Wilderness. Fort Wilderness
Animal
Wilderness
Kingdom
Lodge,
and Disney Springs. You asked me about that weekend. Disney Springs was hot. There was no AC hardly. In World of Disney, it was hot. I went to the restroom. It was muggy. I'm like, why am I indoors? And the AC's I think the whole resort is affected with some kind of AC issue because Disney Springs was the restaurant. There's no need for a restaurant in Disney Springs to be scorching. It should be, you should be able to cool off in there.
So if you go to a theme park and the outdoor attractions are all shut down, you might as well not go. Okay. So this has been a long way for me to get here. But Ron, them shutting down essentially Disneyland Paris, this is something that would never happen here for this kind of thing because we actually have air conditioning. That is what's going on. And the calamity and the disaster, I mean, people are dying. So I don't want to make light and just cover it from a theme park, angle, but all of this is because they don't want to address a very simple issue. And they say, well, the houses, in Europe, they were never designed for central heat and air. It's like, put in a window unit.
It's not that. What do they call them? Swamp coolers?
No, we don't want to have to build another nuclear power plant. Build a power plant. Quit being a bunch of schlubs over there and do what you got to do to be in the modern world. You're not going to kill the planet for having air conditioning. Good grief. Ron, your thoughts on this crazy story?
It just makes me think. So first of all, I'm looking at the temperature right now. Like right now in Paris, France, it's 80 degrees Fahrenheit. And on their weather, it says severe high temperature, 80 degrees Fahrenheit, which we would never think of that here. Like that's cool. In my head, I can't get this out of my head for some reason. Yeah, anybody seen the Santa Claus the movie and Dudley Moore plays an elf and he goes, I've got an idea for these pipe thingies, and we put the air through the pipes, and that's how we heat and cool the whole place. It was supposed to be taking place, I think, in like the 15 or 1600s. Air conditioning is not a new idea, is my point. Like I can't believe that Europe, who is supposed to be they're supposed to be forward thinking, they're supposed to be so progressive, and they don't have air conditioning. That just seems like regressive to me, not progressive. But hey, what do I know? I like air.
Well, I know a lot of people still, it's a big debate, and people say, well, there are places in Europe where it doesn't get hot that very often, and all this kind of thing. Here's the thing, and it doesn't matter that we have temperate places in the U.S. People still have air conditioning, and there's a reason for this, and I'll be brief on this. Because I know we are a theme park channel and that's what we cover. But have you ever considered that the temperature of the air affects your sleep quality? And have you ever considered that your sleep quality affects your productivity and your standard of living?
Yes.
The fact that in the modern world, in countries that do this, that have air conditioning, like Japan and the United States and China, have you ever considered that people sleep at the exact temperature that is most optimal for them to have a good night of rest? And you could have that same thing too. Now, if you want to rough it out, that's fine. But I'm telling you, not only does it improve things in terms of standard of living and all that, it also increases your health span. Now, in the U.S., we've got food issues, right? So it's not like I just want to come out and slam Europe. I'm not into that, right? Everybody's got their own issues.
Yeah.
In the U.S., we've got problems with the way that our grains are collected and how they're grown and harvested, and it's really having an impact on people's health. But this is an easy one for Europe. Over the next 5 years, I mean, I don't want to do this again. I watched the heat wave in 2003. Here our European friends are again, and I'm thinking, it doesn't cost much. It's like what? How much is a window AC unit just for these kinds of situations?
They're on sale at BrandSmart this weekend for like $200 or $300.
$200 or $300. $200 or $300, and you can have the air be the exact temperature you want. Anyway, that's why Disneyland Paris is shutting down right now, is because it's not as hot as Florida, but apparently they can't handle the heat. Oh, I shouldn't have said it that way. We're going to get in trouble. All right. We're ribbing our European viewers just a little bit. We're doing it on purpose. It's all in good fun, I promise. Two Penny Puppet for Two, Supergirl's $38 million opening was just adjusted down to 30. No, don't tell me that. I had it right on the money. 38 was my prediction. Don't drop it to 37.
Oh my God.
I had 16 hours of being exactly right. Predicted 38 for months. Okay, 37. That doesn't surprise me though. The First Dragon Queen for 5. I'll trade with their heat for my polar bear, 115 for all week with humidity. Jeez. First Dragon Queen, where are you? Are you in Florida too? 115 all week with humidity. I'll tell you, that's the problem with the Southeast when it's hot, including Florida. And it's because, so people don't know the weather conditions that cause the Southeast to be so humid is that, let's see if I can do this. I got to do it the way the weather person. Okay. So, there we go. So the Gulf of America, Gulf of Mexico, sends the air up in a circle, and it goes over the Southeast and over Florida.
That's
and
beautiful, Pro.
the Gulf of America, the Gulf of Mexico is very, very warm water. It's not like the Atlantic Ocean. And so when it goes over, it carries with it all of these afternoon storms and all of this stuff. But the air that's the reason for the humidity. It's why in the winter, it's not quite so humid in those areas, is because as the giant Gulf cools down in the wintertime, you don't get all that precipitation lifting up. So yeah, in Florida, it's when it's 105 and 100% humidity, man, it's you can't sweat the heat away. That's the problem, right?
Right.
And
Right.
places, Alabama, Georgia, same thing too. One magical girl. Whoa, wait a minute. What are we doing here now? Whoa, now. Whoa. Let's have a talk. Ladies
Those
and
are
gentlemen,
my emojis. They stole them from me.
have you ever thought to yourself, what should I do with my life? How should I be living? What are the productive things that I need to do today? Can I just put away one of those? No, it's probably not wise to spend your time on the internet creating One Magical Girl Pro. Definitely One Magical Girl Jonas is far funnier, will get you more friends, and dare I say, get you lots of loving with a significant other much faster. Make a Magical Girl Jonas account today. Leave Pro alone. You guys think that worked? You think it'll... No? Could be trouble.
You guys are crazy.
One Magical Girl Pro for $4.99. My music video with Magical Gal Pals debuts tonight. Charlie.
Freedom Seeker, 4 months. There's newish hospitals in Germany with no AC. So what was happening 20 years ago? People were dying in hospitals. People were dying in assisted living homes because there was no AC. And I thought, it's the craziest thing I ever heard of. We've had this technology for 100 years. First Dragon Queen for 2. Ron knows where I am.
It's a very hot place.
I like how he looked up at you like that. That's funny.
With humidity. And finally,
One Magical
my
Girl Pro for
gosh.
$1.99. Shout out to my magical sister, MagicalyMJ. Don't be ignorant.
2 L's though. Get it right. Get it right.
It's one L.
Dress.
All right, we're gonna call this. We're gonna call this poll out there. We're gonna end it. Hamburgers have won. Let's see what the final tally is. Hamburgers at 57%, hot dogs at 38%, pizza at 5%. Let us know, folks. Did you agree, disagree with the poll? We got 144 votes.
Oh,
I think Las Hamburguesas have won forever. All right, that's right. Let's see what we got. I'm getting a note that Culture is joining us in just a minute, so we should wait on him. Is this true? Are we getting the one and only Culture Casino?
Yay, Culture.
You know he's going to have things to say about the heat wave.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, he's going to tell us which plants are more hardy, which ones are more sustainable in this kind of a situation.
You know, it's wild how we're talking about this, because on the other side of the globe, in Central America, and Costa Rica is a blue zone country. I went every year for during my childhood. Every year we took vacation in Costa Rica, and majority of the resorts too, they don't have air conditioning, and it's a blue zone. That means they have some of the healthiest, long living people in the planet. One of them, I think there's like 5 blue zones.
That's right.
Just saying.
By the way, folks, they're making it impossible to get air conditioning in a lot of places in Europe. But if you want one in the United States, it's $170. So for those 7 days of the year, or those 9 days of the year when it's just too hot in Europe, and you need an air conditioning, $170. If you consider the unit's going to last for 10 years, and you consider that's going to be 100 days if it's too hot, what's 170? That's $1.70. That's $1.70. You do the conversion to euros. $1.70 per day to have the air be very nice and cool and all that, and even beyond. The efficiency is just crazy. I mean, this technology has been here for 100 years. Oh boy, what am I doing? By the way, without air conditioning, the state of Florida would not have been it would not have been inhabited the way it was. In fact, if you go back to pre-air conditioning days, it was was it Flagler? Do you guys know, was it Flagler who brought air conditioning? I think it was. Flagler brought air conditioning to the St. Augustine area, Henry Flagler, to the St. Augustine area, and that really is what allowed Florida to be inhabited. Before that, I mean, it's almost impossible, in July and August to live in Florida without air conditioning. I mean, it would be just unbelievable.
I learned about air conditioning from the Carousel of Progress.
Progress, see? There's always progress. Tell us about his, what is it? Air cooling system?
Air cool, yeah.
Uncle Orville.
Uncle Orville. He's got
he's got a bucket of ice. He's going away, though, folks, in a few days. Darn you, Disney. Yeah. I'll tell you this, before we hit the next segment. The Carousel of Progress, I disagree with how they're doing it. Shocker, I know, right? I think they should have done 1920, because then you get to stay in the Walt era, and that's what he loved, and so you need to keep that. 1920, 1960, 2000, and then project out to 2040. That's what I would have done. I would have done 40-year segments, and that anyway. But they didn't do that. But you would have had 1920, what Walt was thinking about when he made the thing. 1960, which is right at the end of Walt's life, where you were. 2000, we all remember 2000, and and then you can go to 2040 with the hopeful future. But they didn't do it. But in all of those years, you had air conditioning. One magical girl pro. I'm going to switch to Jonas for $4.99.
For MagicalyMJ with love and magic, have a sparkle day. Hard hands.
This is just.
It's really hard to turn it to the camera the way I need to.
Oh my God.
Oh boy.
We have too much fun on these shows, I swear.
All right, we need to call in Culture Casino. I'm going to send him a message and say, where you at, buddy? What are you doing? We're holding the segment up for you, Culture Casino. Let's see here. I sent him a message and said, hey, Culture, you're killing us here. And in the meantime, how about we go to the Culture intro.
Potatoes, fried green tomatoes, arugula. Hey, what's up?
When injustice strikes, I strike back.
Culture Casino. Let's go. Culture Casino. Let's go. When the EMS tries their best, strap him down, check his chest. Culture Casino. Casino. Culture Casino. Casino. Culture Casino. Let's go. Culture Casino.
When injustice strikes, I strike back.
Flamethrowing bears can't keep the man down. Bearded and burning, it's a Campione town. Kumquats and roses, snap peas and lotus, watch the jugular. Culture Casino. Let's go. Culture Casino. Let's go. When the EMS tries their best, strap him down, check his chest. Culture Casino. Casino. Culture Casino. Casino. Kodiak bots can't stomp his produce down. Check out his latest Ponderosa Lemons Estate.
Postmodern neo-Marxist fear my God. Always wash your purple potatoes, you'll think. Postmodern neo-Marxist fear my God.
Culture Casino. Let's go. Culture Casino. Let's go. When the EMS tries their best, strap him down, check his chest. Yeah, check Casino. Casino. Culture Casino. Casino. Casino.
Culture Casino, defender of the real.
You know that feeling when culture doesn't show up?
Hey, you know who did show up today at Walt Disney World?
Who?
Am I allowed to say?
I don't know yet. But is it? I mean, are we breaking news here?
It's Kanye West.
Oh, Kanye.
Oh, who
Yeah,
cares?
I'm looking at footage of him getting off of Guardians of the Galaxy and then being taken, to the backstage area.
Yeah.
So
He's gonna fall off.
Well,
he's got a big security team with him. So I'm not too worried.
I thought we were gonna have culture, but maybe we can try to intro somebody else. Let's see what we got.
This is my carol song. It is 8 seconds long.
Nope, that didn't do it. That didn't do it. All right, who stuck copyrighted music into a clip and almost tricked me into playing the whole thing? Who's trying to sabotage this?
I saw Caro in the audience. I saw who else? Andy Masterson's out there.
Oh, he made a action figure, Culture Casino. I think it's like Super Garden
the green
Hero. Yeah.
Guys, I've got an idea. What if we summon the President of the United States using a clip?
They don't know what the they're doing. Do you understand that?
Seriously, that's where you came in.
Oh,
that one.
Hey, they don't know what the Walt they're doing. I'm just going to
don't know what the Walt they're doing. Welcome aboard, Culture. How you doing, buddy?
Thanks for having me. I'm doing great. I'm wearing my Animal House t-shirt today. So
are you feeling better today?
I feel better than last night.
Good.
I was overcome with a migraine. So yeah.
Oh, those are not
Culture. We just covered. You were on with Midnight's Edge. Is that right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Okay. We just covered the fact that Disneyland Paris is basically shutting down because of the heat wave, but the heat is not as bad as Florida. They just don't do air conditioning. So, Culture, what are your thoughts on the heat wave that's going to be, wiping out lives in Europe, and this debate about whether or not AC is okay in England and France and Germany, et cetera?
Well, I think air conditioning has proved itself. Conditioned air is nice. It combats the things that the green energy folks are worried about, which is warming. But it's okay in the EU's personal office building to have air conditioning all the way down to the 7th floor. So the regular workers don't get AC, but anybody over floor 7, they get it. So that tells you what you have developing across the EU and the UK and everywhere else is it's okay for me, but not for thee. And we need to not divide society that way, not just here in the United States, but anywhere. I think that's
haves and the have-nots, and the haves are telling the have-nots it's record-breaking, even though it's not. And, they get away with it because they turn it into a societal conflict rather than, hey, can we make the air cooler?
It's a point of division. Again, in politics, ever since the Dick Morris era, which was started with the Clintons, we've had the politics of division. That was essentially his plan, and he recognized that working for the Democrats as he did, that he had created a lot of these problems, and so he flipped over to the other party.
Is Dick Morris still out there anywhere? Is he still doing stuff?
I don't know. I know
I haven't seen him in a long time.
Yeah, I know he still consults on the occasional media project and stuff. He used to be a guy that screenwriters like Aaron Sorkin or somebody would run to, but I haven't seen him do anything recently. He hasn't done any.
I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah.
Okay. So. Well, we're a theme park channel, so shall we?
Yeah, let's talk about Hot in Paris.
We already did that. We're not doing it again.
All right.
You want to do a redo of the same story we just did, Culture?
Isn't Main Street like a greenhouse in Paris?
What if I gave you, Culture, an even better story, one you can get excited about?
Okay.
It's showtime! Straight from the heart of the park.
Expansions, they are coming to Epic Universe. The Walt Disney World Resort is trying to catch up, but it turns out they might not even have their Tom Sawyer takeover finished. That's the Cars attraction before Epic is done going to their phase 2. And we know now where that is likely going for Dark Universe. BioReconstruct says aerial photo of the expansion pad of Dark Universe. Folks, if you need to get your bearings, like, what's the guy who eats all the terrible foods? What's that guy's name? LA Beast. Like, if you need to get your bearings like the LA Beast. Boy, that's a callback on YouTube. Is he still around? Here's Dark Universe. This is where you typically walk in. And right here where you see my cursor moving, if you do, there's a castle. Okay, and that castle is the Monsters ride. And over here is the windmill. And in between those is where this expansion is likely to go. And it's a big one. It's a big expansion because this building over here is massive. It's huge. And all of the expansion is going behind there. And that's going to be a major advance. Why, though, would they be doing this instead of an entirely new land? Well, we've got answers for that, folks. So let's take a look and see. BioReconstruct also sharing this one, and we're big fans of BioReconstruct. Video of Epic Universe fireworks testing seen from the side of Sand Lake Road, which conveys the scale of the show. And it's a big one, just like the expansion. We're going to play it for you without the audio on. This is why I believe they're expanding Dark Universe first, is because the fireworks, they're coming. It's a massive show. And we've talked about how Epic Universe wants to stay open later, maybe even have a specially ticketed night event. But unlike Disney, where they do this, for Mickey's Not So Scary and The Very Merry Christmas and yada, yada, Epic may want to do this all the time. And so to do so, you need more attractions that operate well in the evening. Well, where do people want to go at night? Everybody says we want to go to Dark Universe at night. We want to see it because that's when it's, the most apropos to visit the monsters, is when the stars are out, when the moon is in the sky. I see a bad moon rising, right? Well, I think this goes hand in hand, actually. These giant fireworks and what they're planning nightly now at Epic Universe, plus this expansion they're doing to Dark Universe, when you combine these together, I think they're preparing to take on Walt Disney as the premier nighttime venue. Culture, I'll start with you. Your thoughts on the fireworks and Dark Universe being rushed into now, I suppose, the ultimate experience for the evenings in Central Florida.
Well, you know what? I'll suggest a couple of things. One, this was already planned when they were developing the land. So
that's right. Yep.
They have years of material that they want to build, and they have years of ideas. When they blue sky something, they actually hang on to those drawings and they don't bury them in a museum somewhere. So with that being part of the plan, I'm not surprised that this is coming so quickly. I'm not surprised that there's 12 air conditioning units on that building either. And yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that. I mean, you're talking about massive area where this ride's going to happen. Now, this is just one of 3 potential expansions for Epic Universe alone. And in fact, there might be more. You can certainly correct me, Pro, but Disney can't even get one done in the time that maybe Universal's done with 3. That's embarrassing.
That's what it's looking like.
But I'm going to say this, by creating more reasons to stay, in the parks after dark, I think they can capture an audience that Disney has slowly lost over the years, especially people who love fireworks, because Disney doesn't do fireworks the way they used to, Pro.
Well, let's run this as an idea. Okay. Yeah. So Epic is constantly at capacity, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if they start offering a new ticket where it lets you in at 6 p.m. and then you can stay sort of in the same way that Disney has their, premium hotel, extra magic hours at Magic Kingdom. If they allowed you to stay in the park, if you have one of those after dark tickets that starts at like 6 p.m., if that lets you stay till 1 or 2 a.m., then they're basically doubling the number of ticketable days that they have. So 365 turns into whatever 365 times 2 is. I don't want to run those numbers in my head fast. Somebody else can. But 365 times 2, you get to the point then where you can start actually lifting beyond what Disney's numbers are for attendance. And I think that's the plan here.
Well, it makes perfect sense. And not only that, you can create a lot of value in staying at one of their resorts. Let's say you stay at the Planet Hollywood Resort, or you stay at, or no, it's the Hard Rock, excuse me. You stay at the Hard Rock Resort, or you stay at, what's the other super fancy one?
Helios.
Yeah, you stay at Helios. Well, those tickets are thrown in for free with your stay. So now you're going to fill your resorts to capacity,
Right.
and have a separate ticketed day event or an evening event.
Yeah, and what we've heard is they might let people stay in Celestial Park. That's the middle of the park.
Yeah.
And then you have to present your after hours or your evening ticket to go into through the portals into the lands.
Well, I mean, if you can double, by going to 730 ticketable during the day and the night,
Right.
which is what the math was.
730, yeah.
730. You all of a sudden pass Disney, and you make them
Right.
look silly. And you don't think Disney counts the stupid Christmas
and you double your
party
revenues, Culture.
Yeah.
You double
Oh,
your
yeah.
revenues. I mean, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Food and drink at night is going to be the interesting thing, because I think people are more likely to go with less inhibitions and Epic, and have sample more of the food and the beverages that are available. So yeah.
And MJ, here's the other thing I think about this, and we'll try to skip ahead in the video to Dark Universe. I think the planning here, no, that's Donkey Kong. Come on, let's get it. There we go. MJ, I think this is the perfect way to advertise when they get ready to start this nighttime ticket. If they can really rush and get Dark Universe expanded, you think about the synergy of, hey, we're open at night, and there's this new thing at Dark Universe that's going to blow your mind. You put those two things together, and you've got a marketing masterpiece here, I believe.
Absolutely. But it goes back to what you guys were saying, the crowd levels. And I don't think the park is ready for that capacity. People are going to go bonkers when they hear about that, if they do decide to do that. I know they do control their ticket sales fairly well on the website. They will not allow a certain amount of guests on certain days, because I've done that test and trial myself.
By the way, real quick, MJ, as we're walking towards the castle in this video, it would be to the left. Once you get to the castle, you'll take a left, and that is where the expansion is going.
Oh, okay, that's perfect. Yeah, because that's going to be a kind of across from where the werewolf ride is. So that's
Right.
cool. Perfect. And yeah, and they need it. They totally need it. It's a great park, and like you guys were saying before, once people hear about the expansion, they're going to be. I think people are waiting to experience and go for their first time once everything is the expansions are done and there's more things to do. Not that this park isn't grandiose enough, but yeah, it needs expansion so that it can reach its capacity for everyone to be able to enjoy, because it's really difficult to get a ticket on certain days of the month and the year. We've all tried that, and even for annual pass holders, I mean, there's certain days that are just completely booked. And this attraction right here, Monsters Unchained, they seem to do a pretty good job about getting everyone on and off. I think the most wait time is like 20 minutes.
That's a best ride, I think, in any theme park anywhere.
Yes, absolutely. They've done so I can just imagine with the expansion, the new ride or whatever, hopefully it's a dark ride. It'll be a people eater, and you will have a smooth, relaxing day, because you're not going to be stuck in a line, and you don't need to buy express.
By the way, I just remembered we need to add this to the segment. I don't know if you guys have heard this. There is a very strong rumor. In fact, I don't even know that it's rumor any longer, but there's a very strong rumor that they are going to have specialized 1-minute fireworks in each of the lands, at least 2 of them to start off with, but likely more thereafter, so that where you are will change your firework experience. I don't know if it's the beginning of the fireworks or the end. I'm assuming it's the beginning, but you'll actually have your own specialized fireworks show depending on where you are at Epic.
Absolutely. We actually saw that clip last week on the Vashkai Parkcast. Beautiful. You could see it from the pool at one of the resorts. Amazing views. Absolutely stunning.
So, Ron, everybody says Epic needs more rides. It looks like they're adding a new attraction. And I want to say, too, we have somebody out there who may be watching or may be watching at some point, and we just want to let them know, I think this is probably what you were talking about not so long ago. Ron, your thoughts on Epic adding more attractions? How many do they need to get to in order for this park to feel like the kind of place that can handle crowds the way it needs to?
I don't know the specific number of attractions. I know the specific kind of attractions that would help. And I was looking at
Smaller
of
rides.
land. Well, the plot of land that they have there, it just feels. I look. I have no idea what's coming, but it feels like a dark ride, a boat ride, maybe with Creature from the Black Lagoon would fit in really, really well if that's the direction that they decide to go. I don't know what it is. I've seen it from above, from Helios. If you go up to the top of the Helios Hotel and you go to the bar area there and you look down, because you're actually on the outside of the building, you can see all the expansion pads. They also have a huge amount of land behind Wizarding World as well. So
Oh, yeah,
they have a lot of space to fill. And I think that there's eventually going to be also a City Walk type shopping district that will eventually be attached to this. So yeah, they have a lot of room to expand. Yes, they definitely need to increase the capacity. I haven't been there in a year, so I would imagine that some of the trees have grown in to provide a little bit more shade than it has been in the past. But I can also say that when I was there were plenty of buildings to go into that had air conditioning. So that was, I didn't have any issue with personally with the amount of shade or lack of shade that there was. I've never experienced heat in any theme park like I have in Toy Story Land and Hollywood Studios. That's been the worst for me. But Epic, I mean, to expand Dark Universe is fantastic. The only time I have been in Dark Universe has been at night, and it was amazing. It is everything you'd want from the Haunted Mansion, but on steroids, so to speak. And it's just so much fun. Like just the violinist and the Invisible Man, and I think you saw him. Igor is hilarious out there. The things that he's doing. When you go in, Monsters Unchained is the queue is almost just as good as the ride, and the ride is. You can't explain it unless you've been on it, how outstanding it is. It's amazing. And I wouldn't even say it's not scary like a haunted house is scary, like people jumping out at you, but it is like a fun type of a scary.
It's intense, that's for sure.
And
to give people an idea, like throws your entire body towards this organ player, hunchback guy, and flames shoot out of the pipe organ, and you're like, and then it pulls you back out of it. I mean, it's really.
When you guys went,
ride.
did you guys have Express or you guys just went in like everyone else?
I never had Express.
I didn't have Express.
See, there you go. You don't need Express.
It can be done. Folks, get ready. Fireworks and expansion lands coming to Epic, and I believe it's all because of nighttime spectaculars, and I think it's going to be a spectacular addition to what people want to do when they're at Epic, as opposed to perhaps Disney World.
It's 2035, and it's time for the grand opening of a long-awaited Villains expansion.
Here we are in the first attraction, a grown-ups only establishment where you can get sloshed with Ursula. And guess what? Here we are again, back at another bar. Have you ever wanted to booze it up with little green men?
Excuse me, are there any rides here, or is this all just bars?
Oh, there's tons more here beyond alcohol.
DVC, give it to me. You know what? There are parts of DVC that I like, and there are parts, mostly what Disney does, that I don't like. I'll tell you, like are the bungalows out there from Polynesian, is that all DVC?
Yeah.
Magical Girl culture?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, I was looking at that the other day when I was over there, and I thought, I wish there was about half of those, or I wish they had staggered them, in kind of a layer, because I wish they had not blocked the view of the castle from the beach.
Yeah, they really didn't think it through. They decided they wanted to build a bunch of Pizza Huts over the water, and as ugly as they are,
worse than ugly, by the way.
I'm going to steal that from you. What do you mean they're worse than ugly? What you been in one?
I saw a video recently of somebody who stayed in one, and she was showing the amount of mold that has built up. It's not called the separation
a lot
of
problems.
The sink. They have
delamination issues. They have tile problems. By the way, that's the other thing. You compare that to the expansion of DVC next to the Grand Floridian. That the towers they built there fit right into the coastline, and they don't interrupt the views from the sidewalk or anything else of the castle. And like, in fact, some of the rooms actually face the castle and have better views than the main Grand Florida Grand Floridian location. But the Pizza Huts are just annoying. And if you stay there, despite the soundproofing, just imagine the boats at night. Just imagine that on 1 a.m. with those boats going in and out of the dock there. And how lovely that is.
What do you think about some people culture are saying that DVC is the reason they're shutting down a lot of this park hopping, that DVC members don't like sort of the, quote unquote riffraff. Now I'm not going to call it that, but what are your thoughts
you
on
mean
that?
resort hopping is what you're referring
Yeah,
to.
they've been complaining for years, and they've gotten surveys about it too, and they spoke.
It all that's 100% right. You're right, MJ. In fact, it started out with the pool that's at that one hotel, the with the water slide and the shipwreck and everything else that's in around the boardwalk there. And for some reason, my brain's not putting it together.
It's the Beach and Yacht Club.
Beach and Yacht, Yacht and Beach.
Stormalong Bay.
Yeah, Stormalong Bay. Thank you. And that was the thing that started it all, because the people that were there are like, why are all these people from these other hotels like in our pool?
Yeah.
And I don't want the riffraff to be over here when I paid for this pool.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's talk about that in just a minute. Let's hit the super chats. There's a deeper topic here, and let's go into it. Okay, you ready?
Yeah, you bet.
Absolutely.
First of all, though, Siani Reese for 999. Thank you, Siani. Hello, Pro and Panel. I am staying home all week and weekend because Trump and JD Vance will be in my neighborhood. Siani, are they coming to your house? It is going to be nuts for towns that are not used to a lot of people. Yes. All right. Well, hey, you make a mean meatloaf, and I guarantee you JD Vance will come over and spend time with you. One Magical Girl Pro. Oh, wait, sorry.
One Magical Girl Pro for $199. Love the new look, Magical Girl MJ.
How did culture steal your background that fast?
Oh, AI, the beauty of AI, Pro. What can I say?
How did he do that fast? I mean,
it's a magical girl out there. She's doing things.
I noticed he got rid of his magical. He got rid of the magical thing on the background, though. He couldn't hold on to it too long. First Dragon Queen for 2. Evil Sesame Seed Man wins. Killed those potatoes.
True story. Yeah. So for those of you that didn't see episode 13 over on that garden place, the video was of the disappointing non-harvest of potatoes. The vegetative growth got destroyed too early for the actual tubers to form. So kind of a
spuds went spoof.
Yeah, they poofed.
The spuds went spoof.
One Magical Girl Pro for $199. I love your new look too, Magical Girl Culture.
You betcha.
Oh, it's back again. Magical Girl Culture there at the bottom. Oh boy. All right, well, let's talk about resort hopping, because it seems like it's going away. In fact, we're hearing it's going even more. But the Disney shills are unwilling to criticize the House of Mouse. Say what? Let's talk about it.
It's showtime! Straight from the heart of the park.
The Walt Disney World Resort is cracking down on resort hopping, making sure that you're not stopping by places you don't have a room or a reservation. And it could spell doom for this holiday season. But guess what? The Disney shill accounts out there, they're not willing to criticize, not for a minute. And it's making them desperate. You won't believe what they're trying to still get clicks on. We'll talk about it in just a second. But out of Disney Food Blog, Samantha Kendall writing this one, Disney World is cracking down on resort hopping harder than ever before. Disney World has just dropped a ton of details about the holiday season around the parks and hotels this year. And we're so excited. We're so excited. It talks about Christmas party, Jollywood Nights, Epcot, blah, 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 blah. But it looks like those restrictions make it even stricter, talking about park hopping. This past spring, Disney Springs started a new rule where guests using the bus system had to have a dining or hotel reservation to visit the resort they were going to. Well, they've upped it now. It's permanent. You can see there, beginning June 28th. We've been there. Walt Disney World Transportation Service from Disney Springs to resort hotels is available only for guests staying there or those with a valid dining or experience reservation. It's permanent. Gingerbread House is gone. You all know about that. The boats are even being blocked. But guess what? Folks, we're now hearing that there may be a plan in place for Disney to shut down resort hopping off the monorail. So if you get off the resort monorail come this Christmas season, you may need to have a dining reservation or your hotel card, your key card or your Magic Band or whatever, to exit the monorail. Now, they would probably let you get off the monorail, and there'll be a check system, and then if you don't, you got to get back on the monorail and keep going. Get out of here, riffraff. And so you would think that everybody would be up in arms about this, because This doesn't even make sense. Like, why would you not want people enjoying the... Look at Ron's face. Ron is even like, what? What's going on here? Ron, once they started shutting down the buses, this is not a big surprise, right?
I'm just thinking how annoying that would be if I were a hotel guest. Like, I really don't. Like, if I'm a hotel guest, I would want to be able to come and go to my hotel without being stopped every single time. And do you realize what would happen at the end of the night when you have thousands of guests flooding the hotel off the monorail from the Magic Kingdom? That I just don't see how you would handle it. It's a totally different situation than from Disney Springs, because Disney Springs, you probably only had, a couple of people here and there on each bus ride that might be trying to get on that don't have a hotel reservation. But to actually go into the hotel, that would be like, I'm sorry, that's just crazy. The amount of people they'd have to scan would be ridiculous.
At Polynesian, they've got the space to do it. At Grand Floridian, they have the space to do it. But I'm just thinking about Contemporary, the bottleneck that's going to be there if they try to do that, where I think they would have to. But apparently there's talk of this going through, Ron, and it's not surprising, because if you think about it, they're shutting down even the boats going to Riverside and Port Orleans and all that. They're shutting that down. So, I think that, how long is it until they say, before you get on the Skyliner to Pop Century, we need to see your key card? Right? We need to see. Yep. I think that's coming. I absolutely think that's coming. And I think a lot of this has to do with efforts to get people to pay for parking and other things. But anyway, hold for just a second, because I want you all to see something interesting about this. This should be, I think, at the top of most Disney World aficionados' list for things that they're aggravated about. But instead, folks who don't want to criticize Disney because they're afraid of what will happen, they're coming up with new things to talk about instead. I want you to watch this video. This is a guy, let's see what his name is, and we like him, he's fine. Peter Petrella. Petrella? Probably Petrella. But Peter is talking about you remember the guy who jumped off and took a wee-wee on the safari ride? Still talking about it. And listen, I'm going to say this. If you want to be a Disney influencer right now, I believe you need to be talking about the resort hopping, because this has got people hopping mad. But here's how desperate we are to not cover that and still try to find clicks. Here we go from Peter Petrella. Talk, Peter.
Ride vehicles in any theme park, but I watched the video of the guy on the safari ride at Animal Kingdom. I'm not going to put it in this video. You can look it up if you want to. It's just a little too disturbing for me to be comfortable putting on here. I don't speak for the
Too disturbing, because the guy went to the other side of a tree and took a wee-wee.
Walt Disney Company. Essentially, there's a man who was on the Kilimanjaro safari ride at Animal Kingdom. He, mid-ride, for some reason, jumped out of the ride vehicle to go urinate on the trees. I didn't watch the whole video.
Poor trees.
Presumably, he came back to the vehicle. Presumably, he was definitely banned for life. A few things in this video really stood out to me. The first thing being that this isn't just like any other attraction. Like, I really hate, like, the same goes for Living with the Land, right? There are such delicate balances and ecosystems, and we are so fortunate that we have a ride that we're able to experience that as close as we are. It is so dangerous for the ecosystem as a whole, for the animals that live there, to interfere with that delicate balance.
I want to know what this guy thinks is in the urine of this man. I mean, listen, I'm afraid he's going to get eaten by a lion or trampled by a zebra. But I got to say, I'm not worried that his pee-pee is going to devastate the plant life of Animal Kingdom. I don't know if you all have heard, but for thousands of years, humans pee-peed outside. Some still do. And in the Bluey show, it's called taking a bushwee. The guy just took a bushwee. Now, should he be banned? Yes, he should be banned because he jumped off a safari ride. But I think this, guys, is where we are right now with some of the Disney influencers. They're trying to still talk about stuff that can get some clicks, but they're not willing to talk about stuff that Disney is doing. And maybe Peter is talking about the resort hopping situation, but I think a lot of the outlets out there are still not willing to talk about it for fear of Disney reprisal.
I agree. They're not talking about it actively. Listen, this just boils down to, like I said before, the DVC Resort members have spoken. They've been complaining for years. And it's just like Culture was saying, they don't want you in their pool. And to be fair, and Ron, please help me out if I'm wrong, the only resorts that let you pool hop is the French Quarter in the Port Orleans. You can go from one to the other without any issues because I think they're just sister.
It's the same property. Yeah.
Exactly. And you just take the little water taxi or friendship boat and you can go from pool to pool. We've done it. We've stayed at both properties and it was a delightful time. The kids really enjoyed the little water splash playground slide. But at the end of the day, I think this is just another good thing gone out of I want to know the numbers. I want to see data, a graph. Was there abuse of these resort pools? Was there an astronomical amount of people going into these properties and using the amenities, ruining it for the people that are paying the big bucks to be there? I want to see those numbers because I don't want to sit here and say, oh, they ruined it for everyone because the resorts were flooded. The only time resorts really get flooded is during the holidays. And they wanted to see the decor and they want to see the things during Easter. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I'm with you. And a lot of those traditions will go by the wayside. Unfortunately, you know, the Easter eggs are going to be one of those things that I think will disappear, you know, and you know, another argument that Disney's anti-Christian, but let's talk about Stormalong Bay specifically. That one I understand because it is immediately walkable by the Swan and Dolphin. The Swolfen, it's immediately walkable by the boardwalk, the Yacht and Beach, you know, everything in that circle, right? The boardwalk, if you've ever stayed at the boardwalk, it's incredible. And they have a cool pool. There's a clown water slide pool there that's neat as heck too.
Yeah.
But the other place that you can effectively pool hop on property, like you suggested, at the French Quarter, but you can also do it between the Contemporary pool and the Bay Lake pool.
Oh, nice.
And so here's where I see problems. Ready? Here we go. Food and beverage sales are going to be impacted by this. The second thing is merch sales are going to be impacted by this.
Yes.
Because of the gift shops. And then you have pedestrian traffic. How are they going to filter for pedestrian traffic? You can walk the entire lagoon now with that special drawbridge. All the way from, you know, the Magic Kingdom all the way through Grand Floridian, the back of the Poly. You can walk the sidewalk through the Poly from the Grand Floridian without, you know, going through the hotel. You can walk the areas to the Ticket and Transportation Center from there. You can walk from Ticket and Transportation Center to Poly. You know, and then this is all links into the idea that they didn't want to build a bridge over the top of the roadway or a tunnel underneath it to connect Shades of Green to you know, the Poly or any of those hotels in that loop. Is that right?
Right.
I think
no, you're right. And you know, I tested the waters last weekend. I called just to see what they would say. I called the Cake Bake Shop and I said, if I don't have a reservation, because you can go to the Cake Bake Shop and have a reservation and sit down and do all the things, or you can go into their actual bakery and go in like if it was a convenience store, if you will. I called and she's like, yeah, just go to the Boardwalk Resort. Let security know that you're here to purchase merchandise from the Cake Bake Shop. You can park on the Boardwalk's property and go right in. So who's to say that I go shopping at the Cake Bake Shop, get a slice of cake, pick up a stuffed toy animal, right? And I can just go about my merry day to the other places that are just in that loop, like Culture was saying. There's not a way to get you. This is like he said, merchandise and food sales will go down because if you think about the DVC members and the resort, you know, the other people that book these resort stays, they're not the only ones buying. They're not going to buy all the food and all the merchandise that are at these resorts, at the gift shops. Some merchandise debuts, for example, the trash can lunchbox that I want so desperately bad. It's at the Animal Kingdom Lodge. It's not anywhere to be found in any of the parks. So one would want to go there, park, and go buy the merchandise in the gift shop. Now I can't unless I'm paying for a night stay. That's ridiculous.
And again, a lot of these locations have quick serve restaurants. So, you know, people from one DVC, here's the Animal Kingdom,
which
right?
by the way, Culture, they will not allow the quick service to be your reason for going and park, you know, resort hopping.
Yeah, and that actually will impact their sales. Now, you can walk between these two resorts, Kidani and the main tower, Jumbo House.
Yes.
So you can walk between these two as well. I don't know that you would necessarily want to pool hop, although it's a more family oriented pool. at Kidani Village. I like that pool better than I like the big one in the center of the hotel at Jumbo House, but that's just me. And again, I've been to all these resorts. There is no resort on property I haven't visited. And that's saying something.
Whoa. You've been at the Treehouse
Yes.
Villas?
Yeah.
That's so cool. They're getting remodeled, by the way, which is another topic for another.
Well, and they have a lot of remodeling going on. They've been actually trying to move through all the old resorts, the ones that had the 2042 contract end dates.
Mhm.
They've been moving through all those right now with remodels. That includes the one next door to where the Treehouse.
You've been at the tower over there at Coronado?
Yeah, it's terrible.
Dang, he's been everywhere.
Yeah, here's the thing. I was supposed to be there during the time when the NBA bubble was built in that area.
What's the best resort?
Oh goodness.
Right? It's hard
to
say.
So if you get the Florida special rooms in the DVC at the Bay Lake Tower,
yeah,
that like if you get a 1-bedroom there,
overlooks Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, you get a chance. It's just high enough to see everything Magic Kingdom. And it makes Magic Kingdom a walk, a very short one at that. From that, the Contemporary is kind of a little bit longer walk. I really enjoyed that. Did Contemporary for the honeymoon, but I still think the 3-bedroom Grand Villa at the Grand Floridian is the best room I've ever been in. So
Pro, you can stay in the tower at the Coronado, and we paid under $300 a night.
Yeah, it was cheap. Yeah,
it was extremely affordable, beautiful resort. It's moderate, believe it or not, and they have a great pool. The kids had a great time. There's a lot of really good restaurants there too. I highly recommend the one that you cross over the bridge. I think it's called Three Bridges, right? Yeah, delicious. Ron, you would, I think.
Yeah, I worked there.
Okay.
I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for Disney to call me and invite me to Cinderella's Castle for the night. But while I'm waiting, I'll say this too: if you've ever had the chance to stay at Shades of Green.
Oh, amazing.
Very lovely place. And we're still, folks, I'm still telling Disney, put a pedestrian bridge over the road and let the Shades of Green folks use the monorail. I think it's horrible.
I don't see how they're going to, like, I'm just thinking about the number of people. So much planning has gone into telling people, hey, you can take a break from the park, right? You hop on the monorail, go over to the Grand Floridian, maybe eat at Grand Floridian Cafe or eat at Gasparillo's Grill, which is the quick service there. Like, it's not necessarily just resort hopping. Sometimes it's just you've got the park and you've got the resorts in such close proximity that you can have that kind of relaxing time of the day. There's been times when I've left Magic Kingdom and needed a 2-hour break, gone over to the Contemporary to the second floor where the convention center is. There's nobody down there, like
there's
literally nobody down there. And there's big open couches you can literally take a nap on.
Yes.
The swimming pools are empty during the middle of the day. Almost all of these resorts. So I don't have.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I want to see actual hardcore data. And Ron, you're so right on when you were talking about earlier. After the Kiss Goodnight, fireworks usually pop off, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. They have the Starlight Parade. The crowd levels that are going to, I'm talking about Magic Kingdom. So you're saying to me, you're going to have multiple, first of all, you cut on your cast members.
Whoa. I just thought of it, guys. What if as you're going up the ramp to get on the resort monorail, what if you've got to scan your band or your ticket?
That's what they're going to do, but that's going to require more cast members, and they're decreasing cast members though. How many did they cut earlier this year? So now you got to hire more people and then actually like spread the traffic. If you're staying on site, you go this way. If you're not staying on site, you go to the ticket transportation. Like, this is going to be a hot mess.
That's where they're going to do it though. As you exit Magic Kingdom and you go to the resort line, as you start to go up the ramp, they're going to have a scanner there. All right, I do want to give a shout out. We've been talking about folks who don't want to criticize Disney. Braden of Mickey Views is doing a fantastic job of holding their feet to the fire. And why, folks? It's not because we want people to be mean or negative to Disney. It's because we want you to have the best vacation you can have when you go. Right. So who are we going to advocate for? Do we advocate for the corporation? No, we advocate for you, the guest. It's crazy, I know, but I guess that's the way things should work. Braden's doing the same thing. He says, Disney's back, $30 gorillion, but can't do gingerbread house, can't afford Christmas lights on Castle. Walt Disney World level management is still locked into Chapek, nickel, and dime mode. He says, I wish tomorrow or Maslam would reorganize the Parks Division management and change the incentives. Talking about the gingerbread house going away, and I think it's just one more example of doing away with things that would draw in resort hopping off the monorail. All right, guys, final thoughts.
Did you see the clip that I know we're not, I mean, he's out there. I know we're not talking about too many vloggers and whatnot, but Tom Corliss is asking people to boycott because of the gingerbread. I'm telling you, there's a clip out there we can play.
No, Tom
crazy.
gets excited about things.
Very, he went on a rant. He was very upset about it. He even offered that WDWNT would sponsor the gingerbread house, which had me cracking up so hard.
Oh, wait. If that's the case, we're going to have to get in on this. We're going to have to do WDW Pro versus WWNT. We'll sponsor. It's going to be like the Miracle on 34th Street where Macy's and is it Gumballs? Is that the name of the Grimbles? What is Gimballs?
Culture. Have you ever seen the construction of the gingerbread house? It is a giant doll house that you could build for your kid in the backyard of your home if you have enough land. It costs nothing to build this gingerbread house. Nothing. Pennies.
It's really amazing. First of all, it's structurally sound, which blows my mind. Of course, it's all solid materials, but they actually use the ginger house as a store. It's amazing. And all the gingerbread pieces, that was another reason to resort hop, was the carousel at the at the resort. Walking around Beach Club and the yacht club and all those, traveling all those lobbies, you were like, this is amazing. And now they're going to destroy that merch purchase, the food and beverage purchase, and everything else. This is a very poor idea solving a very simple problem. And they really only need to lock down. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I do mean to interrupt you this time.
That's fine.
This will solve one problem. I know you were stealing gumballs off the gingerbread house year after year after year. I watched you put them in your mouth. It was inappropriate. Frankly, it was gross.
At least
Ron's admitting he did it too. That was Ron's hand going up saying, I have stolen a gumball off the gingerbread house.
I have eaten off the actual gingerbread house after it was closed.
At least I didn't go behind it and pee on it.
Hold on a second, folks. Something has just happened here that is derailing everything. Ron?
Ew.
Yes.
Why and how did you eat old gingerbread off the gingerbread house?
It was like January the 11th. The house was still up. It was shut down. It wasn't operating. And I'm like, let's just see.
That's disgusting.
So I took a crumb and I ate it. And I'm
was it real gingerbread, Ron?
Yeah, it wasn't.
Ron, fun fact, and Ron knows this.
Dust I ate.
When do they start making the shingles for the gingerbread house?
July.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They would have started now, like this week.
That's why they announced it. That's why they announced it, because they would have had to start baking now.
So you ate 7-month-old shingles, Ron.
I did. I ate some real, but I will say, like, the better gingerbread, when you buy the gingerbread, the better flavored gingerbread for me has always been at the boardwalk. I mean, at the beach club, I should say.
Wait a minute.
The Contemporary has good.
Yeah.
You ate other gingerbread houses?
No. I bought the gingerbread.
You can buy
it. Okay.
And that's
now we know.
There was $30,000 worth of business per day at that gingerbread house.
Yeah.
$30K per
and the
day.
lighthouse
Retail.
is gone. Do you remember the lighthouse culture at the yacht club? That's gone.
Yeah.
They're
And
not
all of
bringing
it
that
gone.
back either.
Every bit of it, because Ron had a case of the yummies in his tummy and had to eat part of the gingerbread house. And folks, now we know. Now we know definitively why resort hopping is gone. Ron's going to be hiding back in the top of the Columbia Harbor House restrooms, trying to get the news out to us with what he's done lately.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not the tangled ones, not the tangled bathrooms.
Resort hopping done in by Ron. All right, Hal Jordan is out there for 2. Wonder Woman is Greece adjacent, not the Amazon. Yeah, totally agree. You're exactly right. But she's Amazonian, remember? We've got WJB Daily for 5, waiting for WDW transportation ticket to be announced. Probably costs more than parking fee. I've said this. I'm being careful not to say it on the channels because I don't want to, create a false rumor. But I'm betting you they're going to do this. Mm-hmm. I don't know for sure. Don't take that, to the bank, but I bet there's going to be a transportation ticket that you got to get to be able to go wherever you want to go. WJB Daily for 2. If you are walking, you have paid for parking.
Probably.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
One Magical Girl Pro for $199. We need a Magical Girl Pro gingerbread house for reals.
keep my gumballs away from Ron, I'll tell you that. My shingles are not going anywhere near the man. He'll just lift them off and take off like culture with an Arnold Palmer. All right, folks, we got
that was in the community fridge.
Community fridge.
Community fridge. I love it. That's what my older daughters, when they come visit me, that's what they think I have, a community fridge. Get out of my fridge. You're grown now. Get out.
All right, folks, we got one more story for you. We're going to put it on the docket. We're going to rock it, and then we're going to send you over to Ron. Ron, do you want to bail on this one, or do you want to hang with us until the dish?
He wants to be muted.
I know. I wish we had heard the answer, but there's no telling what he said.
I can hang. Sorry.
We know you can hang.
Like the shingles.
I just can't wait for 3 days of you and me.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you look at this? They've got a new effect on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride over at Disneyland. But is it the kind of thing they should do? We'll talk about it. Discussing Film has this. Disney has revealed a next-gen audio animatronic for Pirates of the Caribbean launching in Disneyland. It's already launched. Will it be coming to Disney World? We don't know. But, folks, here's the video. Ready? Here he is. He's got his little pirate face. He's sitting on the treasure. And then he turns into a skull. I got to give credit to Disney for their PR. They've got the greatest PR in the world. Let me full screen this, okay? I want to show everybody. They've had rear projected faces forever, right? They're the Frozen faces. People didn't like them, but there are rear animated faces already in Haunted Mansion. And here in Pirates now, you've got a rear projected face. There's a projector on the backside inside the hat that projects the face. That's a flat face, okay? And then it gets closer, and all we're going to do is change the projection. Again, it's a flat face, and we change it to that. That is all this is. But the Walt Disney Company, they get articles written about this kind of stuff. It's crazy to me. Now, the question I have is, should they even be doing this kind of a change for Pirates? We'll talk about that in just a second, but out of crowdlevels.com, Disney Imagineering developing aquatic robots, Star Wars food, truck droids, etc. The $60 billion expansion apparently includes this kind of stuff. You can see they got apparently a robot dolphin. Okay. They got truck droids that are supposed to do something. Who knows? Food? I don't know.
We've been talking about those forever.
Yeah. But and they got the Pirates technology that come out. It's a rear projected screen for a face. This is not. Anyway, what I want to say is, at the same time that Epic is building all the cool stuff that Epic is building, at the same time that we're seeing, even like places like Dollywood really get into the game with their new attraction that's opening up based around fireflies. Disney manages to get stories like this about absolutely nothing. This is just a rear projected face. They've had this forever. Panel, what do you think about this? The broader question is this tech display that really isn't impressive, is this even something that belongs in Pirates? Because I know that Walt wanted the Pirates to be realistic. There are interviews from Walt talking about wanting it to be realistic. What are your thoughts?
This is an unnecessary downgrade. It's disappointing, and the fandom has spoken on many social media platforms, and it's not. It doesn't make the attraction enjoyable. And if you know the history of this ride, this was, like you said, this was one of Walt's rides that he had his hands on, and there was nothing wrong with what was there before. That's what made it so interesting. Even the merchandise hasn't even changed over to this. This is what we're seeing on The Little Mermaid. This is what we're seeing over at Frozen Ever After. We don't need this. This is not, it doesn't deliver the feeling that you used to get. It's like, oh, it's a projector. Wow. Some people that are talented could even do this at home. It's not enjoyable whatsoever. It takes the experience completely out of your day.
Well, it's just bizarre to me, Ron. If you think about the Beauty and the Beast animatronic thing, where they transform the Beast at Paris, or is it Hong Kong? I don't remember now. But anyway, whichever one it is, that's really impressive. Like, I don't get why we're writing articles. There's article after article after article about this thing. It's not impressive to me, and I think it actually might go against the whole idea that Walt had of, hey, we want to have these, realistic pirates. They're historic, and now it's magic. And I really don't care that much. But at the same time, it's like, did you guys just do this as a tech demo for articles? Seriously?
I'm looking at it. Maybe I feel a whole lot different than anyone else. I just look at it and I think this is stupid. It's just stupid. Like,
that's how I feel.
Stupid. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. The Pirates is, I don't think you should mess with the classic rides like Pirates. They already mess with it a little bit too much anyway, with changing the auction scene and all that. It's why I have no problem with the updates when they when the Pirates movies took off and they put Jack Sparrow in. I'm like, okay. And I like the Jack Sparrow animatronic the way it is, because they made the Jack Sparrow animatronic kind of look like he was part of the old school animatronics. I love that kind of that. And this is weird. This just doesn't, like, if you want to showcase this technology, that's fine, but put it in a new ride. And the worst part about it is, I know for a fact that because this is a new animatronic, it will be broken within 2 weeks, and then it will stay down, and eventually the ripping will come out. I mean, it's they do not have a good track record over the last few years with any of their new animatronics. They can't make them to stay, especially in any ride that has anything to do with water. This is a poor idea, and they should be putting this technology in other places and new attractions. And why mess with Pirates? It's dumb. I will say this: if they really wanted to do something, they could make that Jurassic Park line come to life. When they said, when Pirates of the Caribbean broke down, the pirates didn't eat the visitors. You
Here's
do that.
Here's Laughing Place. I'll full screen this. Here's Laughing Place. I mean, the number of articles covering this, though, is it's astonishing to me.
Yes.
How good Disney is, not in actually making stuff, but the PR. I mean, everybody is covering this, and they just regurgitate, it's the next gen audio animatronic, and it's like, what are you guys talking about? Culture, walk us through.
I don't like it because of the change. I also don't like it because it's going to have to rely on a sensor that'll also have to be reliable, so that everybody in the boat gets a chance to see this change. And I don't think that evidence presented
just on a loop
recently. Well, if that's the case, it's going to be even worse for people experiencing it and seeing the face change.
It's just on a loop, and it's just a projector.
Yeah, but the blue screen of death is going to show up on this pirate's face at some point, and I'm going to be looking at Windows catastrophically failed. I've seen it in Frozen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
TPM Vids ought to be really excited about this.
Sebastian's eyes weren't working for the longest time on Ariel. So Culture's 100% right.
Yeah.
We're gonna when it's failed, when it doesn't work, we're going to see a blue screen.
Yeah,
and that's what we don't want.
And we love Drew Smith, Drew the Disney dude. He's reporting on it. Next generation audio animatronics. But Culture, I want to go to you because you're a tech guy when it comes to animatronics. There's nothing new about this, is there?
No. This is old. This is older technology. Projection technology has been around forever. In fact, the new version of the floating head in Haunted Mansion. What's her name's head? The spiritual guide that you're listening to, Madam something or another. Anyway, that's been rear projected for a while.
Oh, it was Madam Leota.
It was front projected for a while. This is nothing new under the sun. And look, the technology is impressive, and when used properly, even with small motions in the face, it does look great. But Disney doesn't have a good history here, and I'm going to point towards the Splash Mountain redo and say that Ron's right. At some point, this will stop working. And instead of the static skeleton that sat there looking at a doubloon through a microscope, and you got that eerie vision of the skull, from one perspective. Yeah. And I really don't appreciate the sounds and the audio. It seems inappropriate. It's going to take away from the environment, the ambiance of this particular part of the ride, where you had particularly good soundtrack. So
exactly,
I still-
it steals the immersion. It steals when it's something that you can do at home. For example, going back to the holidays, they're using nothing but projectors on the Magic Kingdom Cinderella Castle. And when it was the Osborne lights, it was something that would make you get up and go out of your way to go and pay that ticket price and go experience lights out of this world, right? Something that's like you can't do at home. Now all these projectors and all these different things, you can do these at home. These special effects, you can buy these online and do it yourself.
I feel like Disney Imagineering they're at this point now where they could hand you, this little square device with a screen on it, and they could say, we've developed the next level in theme park technology. And you'd look and go, this is an iPhone. They'd be like, no, this is the next level in theme park technology. Like, there's nothing new here, and they're pretending that they've created something. Like, good. That's where we are. That's where we are. Same thing they've had this for 10 years. They just got rid of the frozen faces because they look so bad, right?
Right.
But, in this one, they transform the face into two different faces using the projector, which doesn't involve any new technology whatsoever. And thus, it's brand new. It's shiny. It's sparkly. Folks, give them credit. Give them kudos. The Imagineering PR team. The rest of Imagineering may not know what they're doing, but the PR team, by golly, they're great at their job. Ladies and gents, we may not have hit the super chat goal, but we had a great time with each and every one of you, and we are going to skedaddle in just a few. Before we do, though, Ron is going to be the first one off the plank. Ron, I thank you for being here, and I'm looking forward to seeing the dish today.
Oh my gosh, Supergirl is man. I feel bad almost because now
you don't feel bad. You don't feel bad.
Well,
Supergirl,
now the land
like
of
the
the lost
Acolyte.
comparisons are going to get much worse.
This is like the Acolyte. You're going to make a ton of money off of Supergirl, Ron. You just keep covering it, okay?
Oh yeah, you bet.
All right,
Hey.
Ron, we'll catch you real soon, buddy. Get over there to the dish. We'll go over there and check it out in just a few.
All right, we'll see you real soon.
All right, and then there were three. Culture, get up there. You both can be just little magical girl, MJ and Culture together now with your hearts and your sparkles. Sea Brew, member for 3 months. I hope everyone is staying cool, be safe, and be happy. Here's a little super chat I wrote. Good to see you, Sea Brew. You might want to take it note for note. First Dragon Queen for 2. It's bad. On a side note, I'll take the old skeleton. Yeah, because it's very cartoonish, and that's not the theme. So they had to do this little tech thing to get the articles out, and they made something that's not thematically in tune with the rest of the ride. Got to do it because got to get our articles. Got to be trending. Bruce is out there for 199. Power to the Niners. Classic example of if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
The FTM 22 for 2. Disney needs to stop projecting their problems. Da 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 da. Shh. And finally, we've got Detailed Devil. Detailed Devil for 199. I expect an economy of characters here. I'd just decided to give Disneyland one more try. They pull this.
Yeah, it's not cool.
Nope, not cool at all. But Detailed Devil, if you do go, let us know how you enjoy the time. We'd love to hear your thoughts on Disneyland. All right, folks, we're going to slide on out of here. We're going to the dish. But before we do, we wish you'd check out MagicalyMJ on Instagram and X. MagicalyMJ, what you got going on your social media accounts?
Oh, a lot of cool links that you'll find really interesting and save you some money and have fun shopping. And then I will be with Vash this week on the Vash Sky Parkcast at 2 p.m. Wednesday, right after that Park Place. Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Where we cover all the theme parks all around the world. And there are some hot topics that we're going to definitely talk about this week. And you can find me here on Mondays with these wonderful, magical people, Magical Pro and Magical Culture. And you have the background pro if you want to be hearts and glitter and stars. That's
Oh
up to
boy,
you.
oh boy.
Yeah, you
And
got
culture. What do you got going on besides squandering away the spuds?
Yeah, no, I've got roof repairs to do, which will be the video episode 14 for that garden place. That roof repair will be reflected there.
Did you say
and-
rough?
Yeah, roof. What?
Go ahead.
Anyway, and then of course I dropped a box office video this morning, which I would encourage everybody to watch. A completely embarrassing Supergirl for what it was. So, yeah, that's what I do over there. It seemed to cover the box office, not very kindly these days. Maybe
You're
but
telling me Supergirl didn't do well in culture?
no, it really. I don't think anybody expected.
We were really cutting it up last night on the DA's office with the Supergirl thing, but I forgot to mention something important, and it came upon. Does it ever happen to you guys? You guys go live for like hours, and then afterwards, it's like, darn it, I should have thought of that before. If you're not familiar with the Miraculous Ladybug, and I'm bringing this up because my 7-year-old loves that show. The Miraculous Ladybug, she's like this little nerdy schoolgirl who transforms and saves the day. She's like a superhero, but she's a ladybug and she has superpowers. If they would have I'm not saying Supergirl needs to be a ladybug. What I'm saying is they could have pulled away from the whole Hancock thing, because that's what they were trying to do with this Supergirl, and made her like, this not nerdy schoolgirl, but this girl that's like, maybe she doesn't have too many friends, or she's been bullied, and then she has like she saves the day somehow, and then little kids can look up to her and be like, wow, I could be, just like the old Superman movies. You remember he was like this little nerdy guy who worked at he was a journalist, right? A reporter, and nobody knew it was Superman. And then he would save the day. And then the bad guys were like in black and white stripes, digging coal in a mountain somewhere behind, that's a little corny. It might be cheesy, but it's cute. And it's a lesson learned. This Supergirl movie is not a lesson learned. It's trash. It's not anything that anyone can look up to, or she's not a hero. I was just putting that ideology together.
Debaucherous is what they say about Supergirl.
Miraculous Girl, Miraculous Ladybug. You guys should check it out. It's so cute.
Be miraculous, not debaucherous. That's the message we leave with you folks as we send you over to the dish with Ron. There's one more thing I need to play for Supergirl. There's one clip that belongs here on this show as we hurl on out of here and say goodbye to Millie Alcock.